To the rising costs of groceries. They are up, as we know, 20% over the past 4 years, and polls show it is one of the things Americans are most concerned about.
Meanwhile, right now for the July Consumer Price Index, headline number coming in as expected, up 0.2%. Up 0.2% on headline number follows yet unrevised down 0.1. So we went from basically the weakest, the biggest negative month-over-month change, a positive in CPI since COVID, 2020, and now we're at a level that we haven't seen really since April, when we were up at 0.3. If you look at ex-food and energy, exactly as expected as well, up 0.2. The issue is, of course, it's following 0.1, which, just like the last number, was comping towards the first several months of COVID.
But prices aren't falling. They're just rising less quickly than they were. So underneath the surface, rents, auto insurance, there's some things today that are still rising at a pretty significant pace.
Nicole says this economy is so bad. My husband and I are considering selling our house and living in an RV because we struggle to pay our mortgage, even groceries for just two people. I can't leave the grocery store for less than $200 with almost nothing in the cart.
That is terrible. David says, my wife and I are on fixed incomes. The economy is killing us. Goes on to say, we can't afford gas, groceries to last us all month. Last month, we ate corn on the cob for 4 days till we finally got our Social Security check. It's miserable trying to live in this economy.
By the way, Trump he doesn't want to tax you on your Social Security check.
And Ainsley Elizabeth is from your home state of South Carolina.
She says we cannot fill up our gas tanks anymore, just a little bit at a time as needed. Grocery bill is now $1,000 to $1,500 per month. I had to apply for food assistance for my children. My husband works all day and all night doing side jobs and extra work.
Pretty much that's a story that a lot of people are telling these days. They're having to do without. So it made me wonder, and I started thinking the other day, with all this hype about Kamala Harris and her nutbag vice president, Tim Walz, are these people stupid? I mean, seriously, I don't mean to have any disrespect towards any liberal or Democrat watching this video, but at this point, I have to begin wondering if we're talking about a group of very stupid people. There seems to be no other explanation why people would willingly, gleefully, with joy, as she says, be voting against their own self-interest. It doesn't make any sense. We're not talking about a swath of affluent people. We're talking about all kinds of people from all different demographics, and they're putting them in the stands and telling you that she's leading in the election results and all this other stuff. Yet, people are in misery. I mean, absolute misery. So how could you possibly be in complete and utter despair, wondering how you're going to pay your bills, wondering how you're going to make ends meet, and then still vote for the people who put you there? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The other day I posted something on YouTube in my community tab there, and somebody came back to me and said, Barry, I didn't think you were in the cult as well. And I thought to myself, cult? How much of a cult do you have to be in to want to see your family, friends, coworkers, people that you know do much better? I don't care whether it's an orange man or if it was a Democrat. The bottom line is the issues that count to Americans, one person is way, way, way better than the other. It doesn't make any sense. I posted this on Twitter, and I basically asked somebody, this is what I posted. Some people like to say that I'm in a cult. If wanting cheaper gas, lower grocery prices, lower mortgage rates, no transformers around kids, less taxation, no wasted money on foreign wars, and mass deportation of newcomers, if wanting all of that means I'm in a cult, then I'm in a cult. But the bigger question I have if all those things on that list are not the things that you care about most, it's you who has a problem, not me. If you don't care about all of those things on that list, that probably means you are A, stupid, or B, a socialist / communist. There's no gray area. There is literally no gray area. How can anybody say, I don't want cheaper gas? How can anybody say, I don't want to pay less taxes? How can anybody say, I want to pay more for my food? It's impossible. You cannot look at that list and go, no, I don't want that stuff. I'd rather have Kamala and her 60 to 70 or 80% taxes. I'd rather have higher grocery prices and pay higher gas and pay higher taxes. Like, how? I know you're lying. You know how I know you're lying? Because there's actually a very, very good, reliable statistical analysis company. And that company put out this list on July 30th. On July 30th, and I hope you guys can see this, they put out, let me see if I blow it up. No, I can't if I blow it up. Okay, so on July 30th, surveying massive amounts of Americans, the number one issue, overwhelmingly, is inflation prices. People don't want to pay the prices at the gas pump, at retail, for food, for interest rates, none of it. Number two was immigration. People don't want to see what's happening at the border. Number three is healthcare tied with jobs and the economy. Way down at number five. Number five is the baby removal service. Number five. And if you look further, number six is, oh my God, the climate. So the issues that people care most about are immigration, inflation, and healthcare, and jobs in the economy. Who in their right mind would vote for Kamala Harris? What kind of mental midgetry do you have going on to say, yeah, that's who I want to vote for? Because we all know right now, all they're doing in the media is gaslighting you, and then she's gaslighting you. Here, let me show you.
The price index rose 0.2% last month in line with expectations, actually a little better than expectations. That pushed the inflation rate down to 2.9%. And Willie, that's the first time the inflation rate has been below 3%.
He's lying. He's lying. It's not below 3%. It's 3% and above, but they just don't tell you the right numbers to look at.
Since 2021.
Because while our economy is doing well by many measures.
What measures? Tell that to the American people. I don't know what those idiots behind you are clapping about, because I'm pretty sure a lot of them are experiencing the same thing other people are experiencing.
Prices for everyday things like groceries are still too high. You know it and I know it.
I feel like I'm in an episode again of Candid Camera. You know it and I know it. Okay, then why aren't you doing anything about it?
You know, when I was Attorney General, I went after price-fixing schemes. And when I am president, it will be a day one priority to fight to bring down prices. I will take on big corporations.
Okay, there's two things wrong with that. One, do these people not realize she's in office right now? Do they not realize she's basically working hand in hand with the so-called president, even though he's got dementia? Do they not realize she's already in office? Why do we have to wait? If I was voting for her, why would you have to wait another, 5 months basically, if she were to be elected, to see her do anything? How are you in that audience doing this? Oh, it's fantastic. When she gets in, she's going to change things. Do you not know she's in office right now? Do you not realize all she would have to do is walk down to the office or have, Joe shuffle down her office and figure out, hey, let's go ahead and fix this? The second problem with what she said, now, and let me let you continue to listen to this babble.
That engage in illegal price gouging. I will take on corporate landlords that unfairly raise rents on working families. I will take on Big Pharma and cap the cost of prescription drugs for all Americans. And continue to bring manufacturing jobs back to America.
Sounds great, except for a couple things there. One, why aren't you doing it? You've been in office for 1,300 days, and you haven't done any of that. And why are the barking seals behind you clapping if they know that you've been in office for 1,300 days? So that leads me to think either you're stupid or you're communist. The communist side of things is, instead of fixing, as she likes to say, the root causes of things, you're going to go after corporations and tell them they need to take less profits. You're going to tell a corporation, hey, listen, you're gouging because I'm going to make my own definition, and I'm going to say you don't need to be making this kind of money. Oh, by the way, you guys in real estate, we're not going to allow you to charge market rate rents. Why? Because this is how we're going to control things. Oh, that's communism. Who's signing up for a big old heaping pile of communism? Not me. The reason why things are priced the way they are is because if you're working at a store per se, and you got to have tractor trailers bring that stuff to the store, and they're paying out the wazoo for diesel, hey man, we got to up this. If there's a union that make the truckers and the labor more expensive, what do you think I'm going to do? Eat that? You think if you raise things to $21 an hour minimum wage, I'm going to eat that? I'm either going to go out of business or I'm going to raise prices. I don't have any other choice. The reason I'm in business isn't to subsidize people. I'm in business to make money. Period. That's the only reason anyone opens a business. Otherwise, they'd open a charity. She doesn't understand that. Either that or she doesn't care. And the moron clapping seals behind her either don't know it or they're communist. So you have to tell me, Mr. Liberal and Miss Liberal, who may be watching this, are you stupid or are you a communist? Because it doesn't make any sense. Because if you think that what she's saying makes sense, then you don't understand the economics of a supply trade. You don't get it. You don't understand. If I have to do this and do that and it costs more, yeah, it's going to cost you more. If they make me pay more taxes, guess what? It's going to make you cost more. It's not gouging. Gouging, and I've seen gouging. I live in South Florida, so I see what happens when we have hurricanes. When we have hurricanes down here, sometimes people will go buy bottled water from a store and sell it for $7 a bottle on the corner. That's price gouging. That's pure price gouging. However, if I go to Publix, which is our local grocery store, and I walk in there and I see the price of the case of soda or case of water is $10, next day I go in and it's $12, I understand inherently they have to keep the lights on. They have to pay the employees. They have to move the goods. They have to store the goods. They have to pay taxes. They have to pay real estate taxes. I understand how that all stacks up. So either at that point when I go into the grocery store and I say, instead of this, I need to buy that, that's a personal choice. What she's talking about is, again, equity. You guys can't charge this much. It's too much. And this came in from New York Post. Home Depot. Warning, customers have greater uncertainty in the economy as sales outlook slashed. But the media told us that she's got high grades on the economy and she's doing better. Something's not adding up. Something don't make any sense. You know, if you go into Home Depot and you see stuff in there, maybe you're not going to be able to do a home improvement job on your house. Can't do it. Why? Because I can't afford the lumber. Something doesn't make any sense. If everybody else is pulling back, why is it that she's on a stump making a speech about how everything is great? How everything is absolutely fine. I know it's a little high. You know it's a little high. Okay, so you're talking to people by your own admission who just said they know the prices are too high. And those same people who you just confirmed know that the prices are too high are clapping for you, that you're going to lower the prices in January. Do they not know your position right now? That's why I asked the question. Are you stupid or are you a communist? There's no middle ground. There's no debate you can tell me why you would vote for this woman given your personal situation. Well, Trump might do... No, you know what Trump's going to do. He's told you. He did it. You can look back and see the numbers. You can do the research, except for maybe you're stupid. You know, you just like the shiny object and listen to what the media says and Jake Tapper and Kamala's speeches. Do you not know how to go look up what the prices were when he was president? You can look up the gas prices. You can look up grocery prices. You can look up interest rates. You can look up information about the border crossings. Say it again. It's the theme. Are you too stupid? Because that's what you're telling everybody. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because I'm a stupid idiot. Tell me otherwise. Because now I'm going to show you some people who are experiencing the pain. They're actually feeling it. They don't even know what to do because it hurts so bad. And so it hurts so bad to them, you got to wonder, does Kamala notice? Does the media know this? Who knows?
I feel like everything that you purchase at the store now has gone up substantially. So learning how to budget better has been a challenge. There's going to be some sacrifices that we have to make as a family.
Sacrifices we have to make as a family. Think about what she just said. Our government is in such a bad position that you're forcing misery on your constituents. You're making people feel like they have no choice but to stop living the life that they're living. There's an old thing with battered wife syndrome. When a man beats on a woman and he brings her candy and roses. By the way, guys, never bring your wife candy and roses if you've had a fight or you've done something wrong. You'll learn very quickly that candy and roses might end up back in your face. You see, the candy and roses syndrome is when I promise you something, I'll never do that. I'll never beat you again. I promise, here's some candy and some roses. And you women know exactly what I'm talking about. You women know when you start getting in that situation. I've had a family member in it. Oh, I'll never do it again. I promise. Here's some candy and roses. But in this instance, here's some nice speeches. And, maybe we'll give you an EBT card as we spank you on the way out the door. Stop falling for it. Stop thinking it's going to get better instead of making it get better. Do something about it. This poor woman here, and she just looks like she's about to cry because she can't give her family what she's used to giving her. Now, I don't know one way or the other whether she's a Democrat voter or a Republican voter, but what I do know is whoever she is going to vote for should be someone who's going to improve that situation, not continue it. Why would I continue to get beat if I'm a woman? Why would I keep taking your promises, your roses, and your candy instead of doing something, saying, I'm out of here, I'm taking my kids, and we're going to get this right because you ain't it. Right now, the Democrats, they ain't it. And if you stay there, you're stupid. You're absolutely stupid. Watch this story, and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Nowadays, it's just hopelessness because we don't know when this doom loop is going to end.
I buy for the grandsons, so it's just the prices have gone up so much.
Does everybody know who they're voting for?
The doom loop. Now watch this group of people. This is going to be very interesting. These are 5 black people in the swing state of Philadelphia. You may be emotionally rattled after seeing this.
For?
Or is anybody undecided still?
I'm very undecided.
Undecided.
Right now, inflation. So I'm monitoring who's talking the most about inflation.
How?
Not just talking about it. You should be wondering who's going to do something about it. Who's better equipped to make sure the inflation gets fixed? Remember, on that list, inflation was number one. Prices were number one. Kamala, she's been in office for 3.5 years. She's done nothing.
How hard has inflation hit you?
It hit me hard. It's hitting me hard.
Who do you blame for it?
I blame the federal government at this point. If a working class mom who works as a paralegal cannot buy a $2 bell pepper because it's now $5, imagine a mother living on food stamps. Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children.
The woman's crying. That woman talking to an MSNBC reporter is crying. She's brought to tears. She can't even feed her family. She's sitting there going, what am I going to do? She's heartbroken. No parent wants to see their kid go hungry. And yet you're telling me inside Philadelphia, one of the most urban centers in the country, in a swing state, that Kamala Harris can be leading, and I'm seeing people crying on television?
They're killing us without killing us. If you understand that. They're killing us without telling us they're killing us. They're hurting people in ways that they can't help themselves.
I got pissed when I saw this. It made me angry inside to think that people like this reporter from MSNBC can sit there so smugly and go, oh, this is a good idea. No, it wasn't. And the more black people you speak to, you realize they're like, hey, man, this absolutely sucks. I'm not stupid. I'm trying to feed my kids. I'm trying to do the best I can for my family. And the government, as this woman said, is killing us. She didn't say, I mean, think of that. They're killing us.
It's either feed my child or how about feed my children and I don't eat?
Either feed my children or I don't eat. Who should have to make that kind of decision anytime? You are in the wrong government. You are looking at the wrong candidate. You are stupid if you think that it's normal to have to decide whether or not to feed your kids or feed yourself, because that's a losing equation every single time, because you're going to feed the kids and you're going to go hungry. You're going to lose that. That battle is lost. Every single parent will always make sure whatever they have, they're going to provide for their kids, their spouse, before they eat themselves. And your government right now is putting you in that situation and not doing anything about it. And you expect me to believe that Kamala Harris is ahead?
But I have to go work.
Who feels as if black voters are taken for granted, i.e., they make you promises and they don't deliver?
All right, so those of you who are statisticians or know a little bit about math, that's called 100% sample. 5 people in the room, all 5 people said, yeah, they're taking us for granted. All 5. No, without hesitancy. Boom, 5, yep, the government's taking us for granted. But Kamala's ahead. The polls that these people talk about, don't forget my polling shows on Friday, the polls say she's ahead.
What do you care about most right now?
What are they going to do for my people that lives in the communities where I am from?
It's the government, people. And I'll just continue to ask you that question. Are you stupid or are you a communist? There's no middle ground. If you feel a woman should struggle to feed her family instead of herself while working 2 jobs, if that's okay, while Kamala's running for president and hasn't done jack squat, you're either stupid, or communist. There's no middle ground. Do you not have empathy? Do you not see what these people are going through? What the hell is wrong with you? I don't get it. let me take a few comments before I start looking at your next shot here. They don't care because they have money. Yeah, but what about the ones who don't have money? What about not everybody in that audience at her rallies, if they're real, are all rich? And even if they are, let's say that most of the people at her rallies are very comfortable. My wife and I, we're very comfortable. You may be very comfortable. Do you want to see this woman not eat at night because she's taken advantage of by her government? No. It just, I do the same thing. I make sure my husband gets his meals, so I'll eat just what's left over, just to make sure he has the nutrition to continue to work 4 to 12 and 8 hours. Yeah. The left is all about eugenics, killing people, always has been. There's something wrong. There's something very wrong. Jeffrey Hampshire. Hey, Jeffrey, haven't seen you in a while. Absolutely. Democrat politicians don't care about. Where'd that go? I clicked the button. I like that. Okay, here it is. I gotta find that again. Democrat politicians. Why are your things not coming through? I don't know why. Trump needs to remind people before Election Day that the holidays are around the corner and going to be the most expensive yet. Forget the holidays. There may be not people who are going to get through the next couple months. You know what's coming up north. It's funny. I used to live in Connecticut, so I know what's coming. You could basically set your watch by the turn of the season. And so once you get into September, early October, it starts getting a little chilly up north. And now, in addition to food and gas, now you got to go ahead and buy heating oil. Good luck with that. So now you're going to should I eat or should I keep the house warm for the kids? It gets really bad. This administration has brought the country to ruins. Why is that clicked? Okay. They don't care about us. Their agenda is to destroy our way of life, rewrite our history, stop watching CNN, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so what you're saying is that they are communists. They are intent on destroying America. That's what their objective is. Absolutely. Well, some of this stuff goes so fast. I'm going to have to figure out how to slow this down. I've been an American for 63 years, paid taxes all my life. Where's my free food? Yeah, exactly. Well, you're going to be paying more. Van says, Barry, the best. Thank you very, very, very much. They're waiting on a prayer. They don't vote identity. Exactly. What is really happening, I think our government has gotten so corrupt and powerful, it is punishing the people for electing Trump in 2016. That's a great comment. That's a great comment. Food prices are a mere reflection of the government printing money. Everything else they say is BS. I fully believe that. Jeffrey Marino says, 4 years ago I was saving money, and now my checking account until I have saved $80 in my checking account until next Friday. Where's Patricia? Patricia just said something pretty good. I saw that. Patricia says, I feel guilty. I just bought more paint canvas and other art supplies. No, you shouldn't feel guilty if you're being blessed. If you can do certain things, there's no reason to feel guilty. You've been blessed with the ability to live the life that you want to live. My point is the empathy of what the government is doing to so many people is not right. And in addition to that, as that woman said, they're taking us all for granted. They have cast aside the black community for decades. Yet for some reason, every 4 years, they go and vote for Democrats. It doesn't make any sense. It goes back to what I said. Are you stupid? Because if you keep doing the same thing expecting a different result, I believe they called that insanity. You have been doing the exact same thing every single year, every single election, and you expect it to change, and then you wonder why, hey, it didn't change. It's called research, history. You got the life experience to know you're being taken advantage of. So stop being stupid. It's just that simple. Try the other guy. Remember the other guy said, what do you got to lose? When you think about it that way, what do you have to lose? Because all you've got to see, all you're seeing right now is that you can't eat or your kids can't eat. One of those two things. And we're seeing the grocery prices what they are, and you got the news lying to you. Hey, everything's better. It's better than it was before. But Kamala's not lying. No, you can't call her a liar for that. She got up on stage and said, I know the prices are too high, and you know the prices are too high, but I ain't going to do anything until I get elected. So you either elect me or you're stuck with this. That's essentially what she said. So you can't accuse her of lying in that regard. She looked you right in the eye on stage. I know they're too high. I know you know they're too high. And it's too freaking bad. You know, it's amazing to me how people are stupid. She didn't say, oh, I didn't realize it was this bad. Or she didn't say, are you guys feeling it? Are you guys feeling the strain of what Joe and I have been doing? No, I know. I know, you know, I know, we all know. Deal with it. That's what she said on stage. And she's Kamala. Well, in addition to that, my friends, then you get the other part of that list. If you go down further on this list, number 2 is immigration. So all of the safety involved in making sure that you're, not going to have your kid, at school, or someone's going to break into your house, or some newcomer is going to do different things to you. You actually have to fix the border. But what happens if the person that you're supporting as president doesn't even realize there's a problem? No, there's no problem. No.
We don't need to build a wall. And by definition, just plain speak, basic English language definition, it is not an emergency.
He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder.
To suggest that we have to build a wall across our southern border because there are terrorists who are trying to invade the country, it couldn't be farther from the truth.
Couldn't be farther from the truth. Me telling you this, me, Kamala, telling you it's not true. Everything that you see in the news, when you see it, it's a lie. It's not true. It's a mirage. You're just too stupid to see past the mirage. Maybe because some of us actually can see it.
Couldn't be farther from the truth.
Out of the terror arrests across the country, we've learned several men with suspected ties to ISIS living in the U.S. have been taken into custody.
Sources familiar with the matter tell us the men crossed the southern border, some over a year ago.
Almost 100 people on the terrorist watch list were released into the U.S. by the Biden administration during a 3-year period.
Tonight, an alarming development in the border crisis. Among the record number of migrants crossing the southern border was a member of an Afghan terror organization.
We are learning that under the Biden and Harris administration, the Border Patrol agents encountered at least 375 illegal migrants on the terror watch list right on the southern border.
You're stupid. If you think that there's nothing wrong with the border the way it is, and you think Kamala is correct because she's telling you there's nothing wrong, it's fine.
But what's more shocking is at least 99 of these individuals were actually released into American communities, includes at least 2,000 Afghan nationals, 33,000.
Okay, so maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe you can give me the definition. If a woman or man stands up and tells you there's no problem with the border, newcomers aren't going to cause you any problems, and you're met with this type of data, 2,100 Afghans, 33,000 Chinese nationals, 541 Iranians, 520 Syrians, and 3,100 Uzbekistanians. And you're also seeing the things that are happening with some of these people. How do you ignore this? Well, it means you're either stupid or you're okay with it. There's no middle ground.
Chinese nationals, 551 Iranian nationals, 520 Syrian nationals, and 3,000 Uzbek nationals.
To suggest that we have to build a wall across our southern border because there are terrorists who are trying to invade the country. It couldn't be farther from the truth.
Now that was, I think, earlier in the year, So what does she think today? Well, her campaign advisor went on to, I forget which show, and this is what her campaign advisor said this morning.
The vice president has been very clear about immigration and how she wants to tackle this challenge. She's obviously wants to secure the border. If you want to look at an example of the ways in which these candidates want to approach this issue, the bipartisan border security deal that was ready to go and being signed into law was tanked by one person and one person alone, and that was Donald Trump.
Okay, as far as I know, again, maybe I'm the stupid one, but Donald Trump's not in Congress. He's not a senator. He's not a rep. So how did Donald Trump tank the bipartisan border security thing? Nah, that couldn't happen. You could blame it on him, but it didn't happen. So again, if you believe this crap, y'all can say it together, stupid. Secondly, have you read this bipartisan border thing that they tried to push through that got killed by Congress, deservedly so? It got all kinds of crap in it, as they say, pork. But you wouldn't know that if you actually read the bill. You just listen to what these guys say on television. What you should ask Kamala Harris is, can you just not do what Trump did and just basically stop it? You don't need a bill. You don't even have to wait on Congress. Today, you could say, America's closed. We're done. You do realize Dementia Joe could do that with a stroke of a pen, right? Oh, you don't? Then you're stupid. You're absolutely stupid. You listen to what people feed you and you're running with it. But let him continue with more gaslighting.
He's not actually interested in solving for the border problem. He's interested in serving himself. He's far less interested in border security. What he wants is made very clear in his Project 2025 agenda. It's mass deportation.
Project 2025, where have I heard that before? Oh, it's what they tell stupid people. And they keep telling stupid people. Project 2025, oh, the boogeyman's under the bed. Boogeyman's in the closet. Oh, Project 2025. At this point in the game, seriously, it's mid-August. And the 2025 thing has been put out to pasture. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. But every single time they get on television, they keep saying the same thing. Why is that? Why do they keep repeating the same lies? Because they know their people are stupid. So if you're a liberal and you're believing all this crap, you're leaving me with no other answer, no other thing I can think of other than to say, you're stupid. But let's continue with one more thing, okay? Give you an idea as to what's going on. And I'm wondering, since I've seen this list of the top things that people care about, and I'm looking closely here, one of the things I don't see is anything about Transformers. Imagine my surprise when it doesn't even reach the top 10 or 12. Nobody cares about Transformers. But you would think it was a top 5 issue. And next week at the DNC, they are going to make it a top 5 issue. You know why? Because they think you're stupid. They think Transformers, oh my God. They decided today, in the most disgusting of things, and I can't play the video because what it says on this video, I don't want to play. But you can make your own decision as to what this thing is here. But more importantly, Jeffrey Marsh received a special invite from the DNC to be a featured guest. They're going to put this guy, this woman, whatever, on stage at the DNC. This man is known for telling kids on TikTok to cut off contact and disrespect your parents and that he would help you. He also has a Patreon where kids pay to talk to him privately. and he's going to be at the DNC. My stomach is turning, because what they have done is created this legion of orcs who are running around to these events with Kamala Harris and the DNC, and they're clapping their hands, and it's so great, when all they have to do is look deeper into this. All they have to do is just let me just see stuff. Oh, by the way, those of you who run around singing that, free against Israel thing, you know those, and this transformer type of person who's going to be featured at the DNC, who do you think would probably be the first or second group of people to get tossed off the roof if things go the way they're headed? Don't you realize this? Oh, I forgot. You're stupid, because you don't realize how they treat people like that. You don't realize that the people that you're cheering for would just as soon see you dead. They don't care about you. They think you're worse than human. They throw people off roofs. They kill them. They do whatever. But you think it's cool to run around with the scarf and scream stuff and have Transformers dancing in front of kids. I showed a video on my Twitter account today of a young 13-year-old girl being thrust into a forced marriage with some old dude. If you're voting for this and you think it's cool to be against the orange man, realize you're not voting against the orange man. You're voting against other Americans in the American way of life. And in my estimation, and my belief, that makes you stupid as hell. Any Democrat who today is standing up and saying, I want more of this, I want more of what I've seen in the last 3.5 years, you're stupid. And that goes for Stephen King, that goes for Stephen Colbert, that goes for the media. You're friggin' stupid. And you guys in the media are worse because you know you're lying. You know full well that you're lying. And you're gaslighting all these people. It makes me sick. Absolutely makes me sick. Democrat voters need to quit being a bunch of bobblehead dolls and learn how to think on their own. And that key word is learn. If you're so brainwashed that you are the people in a cult, you can't extricate yourself. The hive mind mentality is keeping these people specifically locked up in that thing. I've seen someone in this chat yesterday who thought it was okay to marry a 7-year-old. Wow. Don't try that in the South. I'm telling you that right now. They should be sent to the UK to wake up. There's so much going on around the world. It is absolutely insane what's going on. People are getting locked up for posting something on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube if you live in the UK. And now these people in the UK are saying they want to extradite us for talking bad about the UK. Me just saying this, he may want to put me on his list. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. They don't teach thinking at schools anymore. They don't teach. They went too far. They've crossed the line. I believe it. Yeah, you are. Barry, what to do when you get people to change it to Trump and say you're putting down a black lady? What do you do when you get people to change it to Trump and say I'm not putting down any black ladies, and you're not putting down, I don't think you are putting down anybody black. Asking someone to use the gray matter in their head and vote for their own best interest is not putting anybody down. In fact, turn it around. If you, Miss Woman, are having to make a choice between feeding your family or you not eating, and you're working 2 jobs, and you know, because you raised your hand, that the government's taking advantage of you. All those things you've told the world. You've gone on MSNBC and said, I can't feed my family. She cried. She said, I'm being taken advantage of. All 5 of them raised their hands and said, we're being taken advantage of. That's not talking down to somebody. That's saying, hey, listen, well, if all that is happening, then you should change. If you're getting beat by a husband, You don't keep going home and getting beat. You find a new husband or you get out the marriage. You don't keep doing what you're doing. As the saying goes, otherwise you're going to keep getting what you're getting. That's not putting anybody down. That's lifting them up. That's saying, hey, listen, if I got to slap you to wake you up out of this, you need to change. Don't wait for the government. And that's the problem that so many of these people have. They keep waiting for the government to do something for them. The government ain't coming. That bus went past your stop. They got you. The only thing the government wants from you is your vote and your money. But if you don't have one, they'll take the other. Yeah, we'll take your vote. Because you know what? That bus has been rerouted. It's been rerouted to the luxury hotels where the newcomers are staying. They don't need you anymore. You all admitted 5 hands in the air, we're being taken advantage of. So you get it. So what we've done to you guys for decades, you get it. What do we got to? Why, I don't need to change. You're easy. Oh yeah, we're gonna fight. We're gonna make sure that the evil orange man understands because he's racist. And okay, now go ahead and pull the lever and shut up, stupid. That's what they're saying to you. And they're gonna do the same thing to the newcomers. Guarantee you. Wait till they start cutting off the EBT cards. Wait till they stop all that stuff and get out the hotels. Wait till they stop in January if they were to get elected. Then you better make sure you're locked and loaded. Because when these people who they've all ushered in can't get the free stuff anymore, they're going to still get the free stuff. Like Eddie Murphy had said one time in one of his comedic routines, and I'll close with this because we got the rally at 3:30. Eddie Murphy once said, America, what a country. If you got a gun, you're going to eat. There's too many places to rob for you not to eat. And if these people end up not having food, not having money, not having places to stay, they're going to find places to stay and food to eat. Just hope it's not yours. Just hope they're not coming to your neighborhood and going, you know what? I need some place to sleep. Especially, think about this. Let me give you something. Wait till about, mid-November, December in New York City. When it's cold and the wind is whipping around those towers and high-rises. And them people are freezing and they're out here and they're burning stuff in the street to stay warm. And they see you going into your nice brownstone. Good luck with that. Good luck with that because you voted for it. New York's been a Democrat state. Definitely New York City. You voted for it. No refunds. You know why? Because you're stupid. And so when they're breaking into your house and they're abusing little Johnny and Josephine, and you just go ahead and say, this is what I voted for. I'm a very stupid person. I deserve this because you do. I have no sympathy at this point for people who don't see what's coming and don't see what's happened over the last 3 years. If you have lived in this country for the last 3.5 years and you ignored everything, the rest of us don't have any pity for you anymore. We have empathy, but not pity. We're going to make sure we're taken care of. We're going to make sure we're locked and loaded. We're going to make sure we understand the dangers. You'll watch what happens on this show if they allow me to continue. If for some reason Trump doesn't get elected in November, watch my content shift. My content will shift into self-preservation. I'm going to help people learn how to do certain things to make sure they are protected. You know why? Because I'm not stupid. I'm not voting Democrat. I'm not going to get taken advantage of. I'm going to survive and thrive even when they get in, if they get in. God forbid. I'm just hoping everybody else understands. Talk to you guys at 3:30. Thanks for tuning in to the 11 o'clock show. We got the rally from Asheville, North Carolina at 3:30, and then I'll see you again at 7 o'clock. So you got a bunch of content coming today. Tonight's show is going to be really funny, talking about some black celebrities that are really on Kamala's back right now. Talk to you soon. Thank you very, very much. And I'm sorry about I missed yesterday. I had a little froggy in my throat last night, but I'm back tonight.